assumption of office as governor 30 months ago, we have devoted a lot of efforts in reforming and strengthening institutions, including the local government administration. Today, Anambra State under my watch is ranked #1 among the 36 states on fiscal transparency by budget, and among the top 5 states.
Yeah, you are just listening to Soludo, the governor of Anambra State. Is going to talk to us on the local government sustainability, growth, administration, and autonomy. That's what we are going to listen. The part 2, you must have watched the part 1, and this is the part 2, the continuation of his speech, because it was a long speech. And you hear the questions people ask of him. Nigeria has lacked people of caliber, competence as nation leaders, especially in the top, in the presidency. But when you look at Soludo, you'll be asking yourself, why should he be governor? Why not be on the top? Because you know the reason, the selection process of Nigerian most valuable position is not done on competence or quality, but is done on an abracadabra. But I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but when you hear him, you will see that he has something that others has not been able to explain about the administration of local government. But you need to listen to him. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. I am still Kodili-nye, the son of wonderful. I do appreciate all of you that have been supporting us, and you have been terrific. Your comments are very valid in this channel. That's the only channel that welcome all your comments. So we don't discriminate. Be it political, be it anything, bring it on. The only thing we don't entertain here is mudsliding or swear words. But just comment. You are free. We give you every right you need it. Tell others about this channel. Stay tuned and let's listen to Governor Soludo, the erudite professor of economics. Stay tuned.
Anambra State under my watch is ranked #1 among the 36 states on fiscal transparency by budget, and among the top 5 states on financial sustainability. We inherited a local government system with 4-year arrears 2018 to early 2022 of gratuity to retired primary school teachers and other staff of local government. We have restructured their finances back to sustainability. Everyone who retired from the local government and state civil service since my tenure began is paid their gratuity and pension. And we are on course to clear the outstanding arrears soon. 3 years arrears on counterpart funding, for universal basic education was also cleared, and resulting in billions of naira that was released by the federal UBEC, joined with the billions that we also contributed, that we have seen the result in many of our primary schools and so on. Most of the local government secretariats have been remodeled and equipped, and the local government system is once again alive. This is not to mention that 3,615 out of the 8,115 new teachers recruited under my administration are for primary schools, and they are all being paid. We do not want to go back. So, the new laws of Anambra are designed to protect our gains so far and strengthen the system for the future. consistent with the Constitution and the laws. I always remind myself that I'm a bed of passage, and so are all of us. And eventually, we'll leave office. But we must build to last for the next generation. More specifically, the new laws are designed to protect our workers at the local level and protect our primary education and primary health care from chaos and collapse. Many teachers and pensioners wrote me to passionately plead that they do not want the agony they suffered in the 90s to 2003 when some primary school teachers in some local governments were paid and others owed salaries. In fact, one old man who is a pensioner now was narrating it personally to me. Was narrating this personally to me about the agony of those days and how they were lobbying to be posted to the local government that were paying salaries. And those of them who were in local government that were being owed would be lobbying if they could be posted to the other one, and so on and so forth. And I just read a report that the Organized Labor, Nigerian Union of Local Government Employees, NOLGE, Nigerian Union of Teachers, NUT, and Union of Pensioners were urging the federal government not to transfer workers and teacher salaries to the local government in the name of local government autonomy. Mind you, no law protects the workers against non-payment of salaries or pensions by government. In Anambra, we want to ensure that we do not wake up and hear that some local government paid salaries of primary school teachers and others did not, or that pensioners are paid and others not, or that some contribute towards UBEC counterpart funding while others do not. These laws seek to create a transparent framework to ensure that the functions mandated by the Constitution for the local government are discharged as a matter of first-line charge or the irreducible minimum. With these laws, workers and retirees from the local government system in Anambra, the primary school teachers, primary health workers, workers in the local government system under the Local Government Service Commission can sleep with their two eyes closed. The local governments and the state can also collaborate in the security of the communities, just as the states and federal government collaborate in funding even the federal security agencies. There is no fear, like I said, the state to participate in economic planning and development of the area, referred to in subsection 2 of this section. And to this end, Economic Planning Board shall be established by a law enacted by the House of Assembly of the state. End of quote. In other words, the same constitution mandates joint planning by the state and local government so as to achieve that same one singular purpose of security and welfare of the citizen. This provision gave rise to the establishment of the Anambra Economic Planning Board, of which all the local government chairpersons are members, and who, among other things, decide. They are the ones to sit down in that meeting and decide what proportion of their revenues they will have to pool together to be able to deal with these services that are common to all of them. And you pay them so that teachers at the end of the month, they are not wondering whether my own local government will pay or not, or whether my pensioners are not wondering whether they will be paid their gratuity by local government A or local government B, and so on and so forth. They pool resources together to discharge this. And it's important to appreciate that this money is not handed over to the state, but it remains with the local. I know this is Nigeria. Governors, like I said earlier, it's not fanciful to be a governor at this point in time. Never been. I knew that before I applied for the job. But that's part of the collateral damage. You are accused of seeking to control local government funds with insinuations that local government funds are mismanaged. Of course, in a society where public office is seen as dining table and public trust is very low, people judge others by their own standards. People judge others by what they themselves will do if they were in the position. They assume that others will do what they themselves will do if they are in that position. And that's where you hear all manner of things, local government money, they are taking it so that the governor will go and put it as pocket money out. It's just absolute madness. Absolute madness when you hear this. And you look at the people saying this and they just shrug it off. That's what they themselves would do if they were in the position. And so they assume that everybody who is in that position will do the same. With their own low standards, they judge others accordingly. While I cannot hold brief for every governor, I know that most states are struggling to ensure a solvent local government system. Personally, I wish I can be spared the headache, if not for the predictable collateral damage to the system, if we abdicate from structured oversight and collective accountability. The challenge ahead can be daunting, given the quantum rise in the wage bills because of the new minimum wage, as well as consequential rise in future pension gratuity payments. I've had meetings hours and hours, including last night, with the labor unions, our team, punching the numbers, both for the state and local government, in terms of what this new minimum wage, which we are starting to pay end of this month, would mean for their finances. And you spend hours and hours pondering to be sure that you not only pay today, that people will be paid tomorrow. That we've hired 8,115 teachers, 3,600 and something of them are in primary school, that these people will continue to receive their salary month by month, and so on and so forth. And somebody is somewhere thinking that the essence of pulling the money together is so that the governor will put it in his pocket. Well, that's what they themselves will do. They don't understand what they So the challenges ahead are actually very daunting. And I want to say, they can't pay salaries, they can't pay pensioners, they can't pay gratuity. Who is going to intervene? Who is going to bail them out? Federal government or who? And the governor will sit down there, and then everybody will be like, in Anambra, because even if it's one local government that fails to pay, the headline will be in Anambra, teachers are not paid. Nobody is going to say, one of you is laughing. Or Adwata local government did not pay. They'll say in Anambra, the workers are not paid. And then you have to start, you are not there to begin to say, no, it's local government X that didn't pay. That's the beautiful thing that these laws have done. And I want to commend these progressive legislators. In conclusion, dear friends, fellow compatriots, the progressive legislations by the State Assembly are designed to unleash the creative powers of the local government, encourage peer learning, optimal development outcomes in plan and execution among the local government, as well as novel accountability and transparency. The laws are very ingenious by creating multiple layers of collaborative oversight, whereby the local governments agree on monies to set aside and manage collectively by them for common services or first-line charges, while the rest is appropriated by the Congress of Councillors in each local government. Okay? In an innovative sense, the legislative powers, including the powers of appropriation and oversight, now to a large extent reside with the local government legislature, the the Congress of Councillors. This is a new creation by our House of Assembly, which is empowered to make bylaws, which are in the nature of regulations for the local government. And it is still the State House of Assembly that is empowered by the Constitution to enact laws to guide the local government. It is still the House of Assembly, and that section of the Constitution is still subsisting. The same way that the National Assembly makes laws to guide the FCT and the area councils of Abuja, they have made the laws creating even the legislative arm in the FCT and so on and so forth. The same way that the Anambra State House of Assembly now made legislation creating and giving powers, explicitly defined legislative powers, even over budget of local government, to the Congress of Council and so on. Beautiful stuff. No, that they're not saying. Those who've commented on the stuff, I haven't paid much attention to what I've said, but many haven't. They don't see the beauty of this. They haven't commented on the beauty of creating the national equivalent of the National Economic Council as mandated by the Constitution, that says that both the states and local government must jointly plan the state. Jointly plan the state. The Constitution mandates it, and that the House of Assembly should enact a law to that effect. That's the constitutional provision. Section 7, subsection 3 of the Constitution mandates it. Now that we have lived up to it, we will get on with our joint planning. And so, like I said, our essence is to have the state planned in a systematic, coherent. At the national level, the National Assembly must pass appropriation law that spells out how every kobo belonging to the federal government will be spent, who should spend it on what, and the process of accountability and the exercise oversight over how these monies are spent at the federal level. At the state government level, the governor just doesn't spend. The House of Assembly must pass the appropriation law, spelling out what will be spent on what, and when, and how, and also provides oversight. And we raised the question before, that yes, we agree, send these monies directly, and I think it will encourage greater participation at the local level. But once you send it there, send it to the local government, the question is, then what happens to it there? It's not just send it. Yes, it's sent, but what happens to it? And that's where the House of Assembly has come handy in terms of the powers under the Constitution to now spell out what will happen to that money when it gets there. Who makes the appropriation? Who exercises over?
You have been able to explain clearly, in clear terms, how the consolidated funds account of the local government will be taken care of. My question is this: we have local government areas with different amount of allocations. Some are higher, some are lower. That committee, are there modalities or ways of trying to get the particular percentage each local government will remit, because the allocations are different? Thank you, sir.
Yes. Actually, that is the beauty of it. Thank you very much. The beauty and novelty of this law is that I don't want to sound immodest, but it's a very well thought out piece of legislation. Okay? Now you have all these joint institutions. You have local government service commission. You have primary health care agency. You have the ASOBEL, and so on and so forth. Let's say, for example, take issue of law doesn't prescribe that. Is that what if the total amount required to pay for these common services that are agreed and so on is 10 naira, and the gross receipt by the local government is 100, isn't it 10%? Isn't it? So, and another time, something changes, and it's now 20 naira. Isn't the percentage now 20? And it still remains 20 over 100, isn't it 20%? And possibly, maybe the next time the revenue goes up to 200, and you have 20 naira to pay for all the agreed common services. Isn't the percentage 10% again? So it's not something to go and put on a piece of paper. That's why they all meet. And where they take this decision is in at the planning board, where the 21 mayors are members. Are you getting that? Yeah. So this is them jointly in a transparent, open manner, saying to the world, this is how we spend our money. Okay? We will pull together X% of this in order to deal with these joint services, including, let me even get down to it, even community vigilante and security. Yesterday I was all over the state, going around and monitoring our Monday sit at home. And in various places I drove past, you saw the local community vigilante, you know, suited and came out and charged and trying to take somebody. Have you paid? And so the mayors will focus on the more fundamental issues that they have to deal with. That's a bigger issue even about generating internally generated revenue, which we are having a different conversation about, as it were. Yes, any other?
Yes, go ahead,
Good day, sir. Yeah, your submission was so comprehensive that you also incorporated what I call the unspoken habit of thought. That is what other people will even think. But I want to ask, Mr. Governor, you pointed out that absolute autonomy may not be possible such that even the Supreme Court prescribed what we call the structured collaboration. And I want to ask you, to that extent that the Supreme Court, gave such provision, are you ready to grant that kind of autonomy too to the local government?
I think, no, thank you very much, Joy. You know, when I hear this about as if it's within anybody to grant or not grant, please, governor doesn't grant, and nor does president grant or not grant. We are of the National Economic Council created by the Constitution. At the state level, the same Constitution mandates joint planning by state and local government. Mandatory that you have to plan together. So there is nothing like any granting of we must work together. There's no if and but about it, except we jettison the Constitution, as it were. But so far the Constitution is there. The Constitution mandates that the State House of Assembly should exercise legislative oversight over the local government. So the governor cannot grant or not grant, as it were. Just like the same Constitution grants, provides for the states, as it were. But under some collaborative arrangement, during our joint planning, coordination at the National Economic Council, we can meet. The states and the federal government meet. Okay, the federal government has a project on metering, for example. On metering. That's a federal government initiative. But the states have keyed into that. We support it. And the money belonging to the states are being deducted at source to fund it. Yes, we understand it. Yes, we have to fund collective security. It's being deducted at source, at fact, to fund the security, tens of billions every month, being deducted at source to fund security, which is exclusively a federal thing. But we understand it, the states understand it. that they are emergency measures. We understand them, that we all have to, we have only one country. We have one economy. There is no separate one. What constitutes Anambra State is the 21 local government. That's what makes Anambra State. What is it that makes the country is the 36 states and FCT. So, the president doesn't have any different territory. Maybe perhaps the FCT. Even at that, the law prescribes the National Assembly oversights, so to speak. That's all. So we all have to know the idea about this autonomy, non-autonomy. It's quite a very strange conversation. We all have one objective. We must work together. The federal, the state, the local government. One objective. One objective. Different states, different 774 local governments, one economy, one objective, security and welfare of the citizens. We must all work together to get it done. There is nothing like anybody. It's just, let's do it as the Constitution prescribes. State Assembly, you have your oversight over this as the Constitution has said. National Assembly, you have your oversight over FCT and the area councils, and then the federal government. The State Assembly, you have dual function, oversight over the state government and oversight over the local government. That's the Constitution. That's not, no governor will grant or not grant. Okay.
So,
Your Excellency, my name is Ikenna of the Aniri. I write for Punch newspapers.
Punch.
Yeah.
Don't punch me.
You have dealt extensively on this subject matter, but beyond the conversation, there's this insinuation out there that governors, including you, secretly and forcibly force the local government chairman to sign an oath or undertaking to surrender their local government funds to the governors. How true is this, sir? Just a clarification.
Well, so to speak. So it's quite funny, actually. I mean, that's the only thing I can say. Very, very ridiculous. What do we have sought out to do in Anambra? Like I said, I'm an institution person. I like to build it. You see a problem, you approach it from, a systematic, foundational and fundamental level. You go to how do we solve the problem that sustainably can be solved today, tomorrow, and next. So instead of ad hoc arrangements, why do I need to get you, go and get me this? We write it in the law. Transparency, so everybody knows how it works. Everybody now can get the Anambra State Local Government Administration Law. You can get the Anambra State Economic Planning and Development Law. You get it and see how it is supposed to work. Everything on the table. So what else? Everything is on the table. We don't want any ad hoc or going to sign secret this one. You sign secret what for? I'm talking about maybe going to shrine. No, we don't do that here. We don't do this kind of thing here. It's unnecessary. And that's why we are codifying everything in law to be transparent, open. Okay? And it will continue to evolve. These two pieces of legislation are Anambra's own contribution to institution building. I can see our labor people are here. The chair of labor, NLC, is here. The NUT, National Union of Teachers, this thing is here. And NOLGE is here. And so on and so forth. They are the ones they have written and ask him, please don't send our money down there. We know what will happen. No. no. This is the experience of the past. This is the experience of the past. Because many don't even understand what local government money is meant for. They don't understand it. By the time you finish paying teachers, paying pensioners, gratuity, the health workers, even fixing the collaboration between the state and the local government. How? I don't know any local government here with its own allocation coming from far that can sustainably fund primary schools, primary health, deal with sanitation, they will pay their backlog of arrears of gratuity and pensions and so on and so forth there and so on and so forth. And waste management and so on and so forth. No. I'm even saying these ones that are already specified in the Constitution. I don't know any local government that will have the resources to do all of this on a sustainable basis. No. The state must put in significant resources for that to happen. And for this to happen, you need collaboration, you need coordination, and that's why the beauty of the Joint Planning Board as passed by our State House of Assembly. I want once again to appreciate all of you.
Remember to subscribe to this channel.
They have ingeniously.
I am Kodili-nye.
To make sure
Go to the comment section. What do you think? Like, share, and subscribe. I am Kodili-nye, the son of the wonderful. Thank you very much for joining us. What is your opinion on this part 2 of this speech by Governor Gov.Soludo? God bless you all. I see you next time. Bye.
We want to appreciate you. We appreciate the labor union. And for the labor, you can now sleep well. Yeah? Thank you. The NLC chairman is saying thank you, sir. So you can now sleep. So when we start paying, everybody can go on. And we can now get on to the job to be done. Huh? They said the 25th alert will not change. Minority leader, thank you very much, and all of you. So we have both the majority leader and the minority leader. They're all here, members of the House of Assembly, members of the media. Let the conversation continue. This is Nigeria. We all have a duty to make this country great. And we'll continue to work 24 hours every day to make our own contributions. And may Nigeria continue to win. Thank you, and God bless you. Thank you.